Have you ever just put so much effort into something nonstop, just day in and out, just all of your energy just focused on this thing, and no matter what you do, it just doesn't work? I've been there. I've been there for sure. And ultimately, I had to adopt a new philosophy. I am not 100% in control of the result. I'm only in control of sowing the seed. Okay? I cannot control my destiny. I can sow seeds by controlling the process to some extent, but I'm not in control of the result. Bill Belichick talks about this in his book, The Art of Winning. Okay? And it's very frustrating when you're just like grinding and putting in the effort, and it's like no matter what it's very discouraging. No matter what happens, I mean, doing all the right things, saving some money, boom, out of nowhere, unexpected. It's unexpected expense. Really putting work into a job, boom, get fired. Whatever it is, you know. And the mindset shift that I had to have was, it's not all about me. I'm not in control of the result. Sometimes you just got to put things in God's hands. And if you don't believe in God, if you're not religious, if you're not spiritual, it's okay. You could call it fate, whatever, but the common theme in the Bible is God wants you to stop trusting your own actions and to trust Him. All right? And sometimes you just got to literally just give up. I feel like God intentionally makes things super hard for you to get you to give up. So you can just say, all right, I don't know what to do anymore. God, can you please just fix my YouTube channel? You know, whatever it is. And sometimes it seems to be like a symbiotic relationship of you and God working together. This is how I understand it. This is how I apply it in my life. Whether you don't believe this, I'm okay with that. This is just perspective. Maybe it'll sow a seed in your mind. Maybe you can be closed-minded to this. But I think intelligent people would at least hear what someone else has to say. And whether you choose to believe it or not, you know, that's totally fine. But, you know, if you're like hammering away at something and like you're just frustrated, like, why is this not working? I think that maybe, at least in my life, I got to stop hammering it away and just let go and just say, all right, God, can you do this? Can you fix it for me? There's this concept in the Tao Te Ching, one of my favorite books, called Wu Wei, effortless action. You're doing action, but it's effortless. If you look at Jesus, it seems like a majority of his action was quite effortless. Quite effortless. Effortless action. He wasn't trying to do anything, and that's just a character. If you don't believe in the Bible or anything, that's fine. But just from the character standpoint, if that book is completely fake, effortless action, it seems as if in that book the characters put a lot of effort into things and they don't work, and then God opens a door and all of a sudden it just works super easy. And I think that's a life principle, a rule of the universe that maybe you could learn from, and something that I've learned. Wow, I'm really trying hard. Like, I don't think you need to try that hard. I find the more hard you try, the worse the outcome becomes for some reason. And if I just relax and sow some seeds and take steps in a direction, set up habits, trying to quit a bad habit. Oh, I'm just trying really hard. The more you try, the more you're telling yourself, I can't overcome this. I have to try to overcome it. You're just subconsciously telling yourself, I can't do it. I can't do it. I'm trying. It's just saying, I can't do it. I can't do it. I can't do it. And subconsciously, you're programming yourself to not be able to do it. The wisest character in the Bible, Yoda, said, do or do not. There is no try. All right, so you either do something or you don't do it. There is no try. So either you sow the seeds that get you where you want to go, either you're doing the right action that gets you to where you want to go, or you're not. You're not trying to get there. You're either doing the right thing or you're doing the wrong thing. And I found that in Proverbs it says, lean not on your own understanding. It's in all your ways acknowledge God, and He will make straight your paths. So sometimes we think, man, if I just try harder, I try harder. Sometimes it's like, you know what? I don't understand why it's not working, but God, can you just figure this out for me and just open the door when the time comes? And that's something that I've learned in my life. Trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways acknowledge Him, and He will make straight your path. Make straight your paths. It's Proverbs 3, 5, and 6 if you want to check that out. But sometimes what you're doing is leaning on your own understanding. I think this is like a spiritual law of the universe. You're just leaning on your own understanding. This has to be the way. This is what I heard. I learned about it. This is what everyone else did. It has to be the way. And the only constant thing in life is change. So what somebody did 30 years ago, what somebody did a week ago may not work. What that course you bought taught you may not work. What your mentor is teaching you probably doesn't actually work, because you're not leaning on yourself and your own understanding. You are leaning on yourself and your own understanding. You think that that is the path when it's not. Sometimes you got to just put it up in the air and say, hey, look, can you figure this out for me? And it's almost funny how much like clockwork, you'll notice if you just try it, at least in my life, when I tried to do it that way, it doesn't happen necessarily immediately, but solutions happen effortlessly. And I think that it would be something that I would recommend you to try. So if you learned something, if you've tried this, if this is a path that you've engaged in, please comment, hit that like button, and subscribe.